Let's take a look at some of the figures I picked up in 2024. Let's get started. Hi everyone, welcome to 16 Figure Focus, and if you're watching this, it is Thursday, the 26th of December, so this is the second video in the 12 Days of Christmas 2024 playlist. So this is something I've done for the last few years, did in 2022, 2023, and this is the third year running, basically the third year I've had a YouTube channel, or have 16 Figure Focus YouTube channel. So yeah, there is a playlist on the channel now. You should see a few of those videos scheduled, depending on when you're watching this. I'm gradually uploading them. But yeah, so this is day 2 of the 12 Days of Christmas playlist, and in this video, we're going to be taking a look at basically the figures that I got in hand that I picked up this year. So the figures that in this calendar year to date that have come into the collection, because I believe there's one under the tree, and depending on when you're watching this, I may or may not have had unboxed it yet. Anyway, that one's actually the INART, the Batman, the rooted single version, but look, that doesn't feature here because I haven't actually unboxed it yet. It should feature because technically I've picked it up. Yeah, so these are all the figures in no particular order, no particular ranking of figure quality or any particular order of, they're not ordered in chronological order or anything like that. They're just basically the figures that I picked up, that I bought and got in hand this year. All right, so let's take a look at them. I'm going to say a little bit about each of them. So this one here, this is one of the greatest figures in my collection. It is one of the best figures of this year, and it's been featured heavily in conversations, I suppose, of potential figures of the year 2024. It's definitely one of my favorite figures I picked up in 2024. I think it's definitely a contender for figure of the year. There will be one of the videos on this 12 Days of Christmas 2024 playlist. One of the videos scheduled is Figure of the Year 2024, my own personal opinion, and then Figure of the Year 2024 as voted by my subscribers using the community tab on my YouTube channel, but also yeah, just a survey software called Mentimeter. So yeah, this figure is incredible. I mean, the 1.0 like had a lot. It did have a lot going for it. From what I understand, the head sculpt was quite good, and when you pose them with the jacket, it looked quite good. However, there's no comparison. The body on this is incredible. So you've got the seamless joints. It's completely rehauled, right? So it's a seamless body. The proportions are completely different. They're way better. He's a big boy. You've got like the chest is huge, the shoulders is huge, the biceps and arms are huge. He's got traps. He's just an absolute unit of a figure. So it's definitely more screen accurate. You could argue that this guy doesn't have the belly that Bane has, but in fairness, you're not going to pose him, you know, without that kind of tactical vest on as well. And a lot of the time you couldn't really, there's only one scene really in the movie where he's shirtless and you can see he's kind of has a belly, doesn't have a six-pack or anything like that. But so I suppose this is more accurate than the 1.0, but you could still argue that there are some inaccuracies with it. This figure is incredible. The head sculpt, the paint applications, the details on the wrinkling on the forehead there. You can see his kind of like, you know, little wrinkle lines here, the kind of scars and pock marks inside of the head. Even if you look at it closely, where the mask clamps him, the skin kind of bulges out along the where the mask meets the skin, which would be accurate, as in like if you're wearing a mask and it was tight, it would do that. You can see it as well in the little gap there on the left and right. The detailing on the mask, the paint apps, the separate rolling eyeballs function. The tactical vest looks amazing. You've got the gauntlet. It comes in that base as well from the scene where he, you know, essentially fights Batman for the first time and, you know, breaks his back, nearly kills him. In fairness, one of the strongest parts, one of the highlights of Dark Knight Rises. There's very little bad I can say about this figure. Like I said, the likeness, the details on the mask, the paint apps, the separate rolling eyeballs function, the completely rehauled seamless body is incredible. You've got then you can pose him like this with just the tactical vest. You can pose him with, there's two different jackets. There's kind of like the kind of, how would you say it, like kind of the iconic one with the sheepskin, which is the look for Bane really, or this one here. And then you've got the other one that he wears, I think when he kills Daggett. Your man says, like, you know, I paid you a small fortune, and he says, it's Ben Mendelsohn's character, and he says, and that gives you power over me. And then he says, like, you know, who's in charge here, or something like that. And he said, you know, do you feel in charge? And then he kills him. But I believe he's wearing the jacket then, the second jacket that comes with this guy. So two different jackets, and even the material of the jacket isn't pleather, some different type of material which hopefully it won't flake over time. Poses very well. It's an incredible figure. It's an imposing figure. Photographs really well. If I had to critique it, it'd be the absence of ankle articulation, because he's got those boots on him. That is a bit restricting, but like, yeah, look, it is what it is. It's definitely one of the drawbacks of the figure. And there's something else that I would have... Oh yeah, that the seam on the left wrist, you can pose it away, but it's still there. And of course, you can cover up the right wrist with the gauntlet. And he only had the gauntlet on the right hand. So anyway, incredible figure. That's one of the pickups. I'm not going to spend that amount of time on all of them, but this is an exception. Apologies for quick interruption to this video. If you're watching this video right now, hit the like button, and more importantly, hit the subscribe button. It really helps me grow the channel, and the support is greatly appreciated. Back to the video. Another figure which I have kind of, I suppose, right kind of in... You can't really see it. Under Ahsoka, you can't really see it there, but... You see it? No, you can't see it. It's the Return of the Jedi 40th Anniversary Darth Vader. I picked up 2 Vaders this year. I didn't have a Vader in the collection. I picked up the Kenobi Vader, which is an incredible figure. And I picked up the Return of the Jedi 40th. And having the both of them in hand, I decided to pass on and sell the Kenobi Vader. I only wanted 1 Vader. And the entire, like, I've got 7 IKEA Bleedens behind me. So if you imagine like the bottom shelf here, which it's not really the bottom shelf, it's rose up on some custom module cases, but you can see that the shelf starts there. So that's 1, 2, and then the Stormtrooper with the Death Star light up background is 3. Then you got the Return of the Jedi Vader, and then you've got another one of those backgrounds with Snowspeeder Luke on. Yeah, it's not canon, but yeah, there you go. And then Bespin Luke on the light up diorama with a CCFL, and then Return of the Jedi 40th Anniversary C-3PO and R2-D2. So I wanted the Vader in the middle of those 7. And I had Kenobi Vader there, and it looked incredible. Great figure, have a Neo LED saber for it. But I only wanted 1, and I decided that this one I wanted to go with because it's original trilogy. I'm never going to pick a Kenobi Vader over original trilogy Vader. However, there's an argument, if you take the content that they come from, the source material that they come from out of it, there is an argument to be made that the Kenobi Vader could be a superior figure. That head sculpt with the cracked mask is incredible. The detailing on the scarring and the face and the look of Hayden Christensen. And I love the way that the eyeball still moves, even though it's just one eyeball. And plus, of course, if you get the deluxe version, you get the clean Vader bits as well. You know, the unbattle damaged chest panel, the unbattle damaged mask or helmet, whatever. And then, of course, you can, I think, flip the cape around. One side's scarred, one side's torn, and one side's not. But the 2 of them are incredible figures. So no matter which one you have, or if you're thinking about picking them up, you can't really lose. But yeah, I only wanted 1, and I couldn't pick. Original trilogy is always going to win for me. This is incredible. Definitely a contender for figure of the year as well. It's definitely on my list. Probably make my top 5. The likeness to Sebastian Shaw, it's incredible. It looks exactly like it comes off the screen. You've got the scarring, you got this kind of pale pallor, and the kind of the dark, almost the bags on the eyes, like, just looks really accurate, and he just looks like he's withered. The scar underneath his left side of his face, separating eyeballs function. The chest panel not only lights up with sequence, the 3 different red rectangles there, they blink in different succession. Sometimes the 3 of them could be lit up, sometimes 2, sometimes 1. The 2 belt boxes light up as well, and then I've got it with a Neo LED saber, which looks incredible. So fantastic figure. Yeah, so that was another pickup. These are in no order. What I loved about this one here is, even though I had the Deadpool 2, which is no slouch, good figure, but I always found that I thought the shoulders were a bit too broad and the legs are a bit too skinny, whereas this one, they've absolutely nailed the proportions. It looks like a guy in a suit. Yeah, it's a superior figure. What I love about this one is that not only did it get released or announced coming up to the Deadpool and Wolverine movie, but it got released shortly afterwards. I went for the one with the gold guns. Definitely overpaid for this one. I usually go from HotToys and I do reviews from them and get a bit of a discount and free robot shipping and all that. And there's I don't get stung for customs, but I actually went with Jeremy Castle for this one. I wanted it quick, and I had to pay a bit extra for more than I'd rather pay. I'd rather kind of wait and pay a bit cheaper, but absolutely incredible figure. So that's 3. Just a bit of stats on this. I believe I picked up 14 figures. I just realized there's one figure here that I don't have an image for. I picked up 14 figures in total. Just want to make sure. I just want to flick through this really quickly. yeah, so it's 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, I believe it's 14 figures. But there's only 12 still in my collection, because like I said, I sold the Kenobi Vader and I also sold Toby. Now, that's a good transition here. I'm going to go into the Kenobi Vader. I've already spoke about this. So out of the 14 figures I picked up, just to make sure I have this right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 2 of them, so that's 6. But both of them, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and then Toby was 14. Yes, out of the 14 figures, I still have 12 because, like I said, I sold this guy. It is absolutely incredible. Again, not surprised if this is on your figure of the year contenders. I just wanted one Vader, and it's that never-ending battle between space and something fitting into your collection. So, yeah, sold this and used my collection to fund my collection. So, gotta say, it was the only time I sold a figure that I was like, am I making the right call here? But look, I can always get him back. I think he's available for a reasonable price. That's incredible. So I'm going to get rid of him here. And I don't have an image for Toby. But yeah, look, Tobey Maguire, my plan was to... I love No Way Home. I think it's a 5-star movie. Loved it. And while Tom Holland's my favourite Spider-Man, I did really, really love what they did with Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, because they didn't just shoehorn them in and, oh, look at them, here's some fan service. It was fan service, but like they gave them a role. Tobey Maguire he was the kind of older, wiser, sage old guide, and who kind of got Tom Holland's Spider-Man to remember, like, you know, if you let the bitterness take you over and you get revenge, like, you know, that's a dark path to go down, and kind of saved him in that sense and put him onto the right path, path for justice and stuff like that, and do the right thing, because he was going to kill Hobo Goblin. And then Andrew got his redemption arc by saving, you know, essentially MJ, or, you know, he didn't get his own Emma Stone's character. I'm drawing a blank here. You know the one. He didn't save his own MJ, but he saved an MJ. So he got his redemption arc, like, which is fantastic. So I was thinking I wanted the 3 of them together, the integrated suit, the Toby and Andrew. Really did not like that Toby figure. I just think the head sculpt the prototype is incredible. The head sculpt definitely softened. The body proportions are awful, and it just looks tiny. I don't know if that's screen accurate. Just, I really didn't like it. And then you pair that with seam lines and stuff like that and whatever. Even though the one that I got actually didn't have the seam here, it was a bit further back. But yeah, just wasn't a figure I could get excited about, unfortunately. Got it in hand and decided to move that one onwards. And actually, look, I saved myself the bones of a few $100 because I would have had to go and pick up the integrated suit, which I'd be only getting it so I could pose the 3 of them in a meme pose. And I was like, that's a lot of money. I really wanted to do it. But I was like, after getting the Toby in hand, I was like, no, this isn't going to work. So I end up not picking up the Andrew, not picking up the integrated suit. Yeah, so out of the 14 figures I picked up, which is just over 1 a month, it's more than I care to pick up. But I might at the end go through the figures that I actually was always going to get, and then the figures that maybe I kind of impulse bought, or in a way impulse bought. So yeah, out of the 14 figures, this guy here on screen, no longer in the collection, and neither is Toby. But the other 12 still are. Right, so back to here. So we spoke about this Bane, incredible figure. Definition of a triple threat, the same as this one here, and the same as this guy here. Like they're love the character, love the source material, and love this version of the character. Same for this, same for this. Next one. Okay, this is a triple threat for me. Like, the Batman 1989 was the movie that made me fall in love with movies, and I don't think I'd be collecting if it wasn't for this particular movie. Like, my collecting is rooted not in video games or comics or animation or anime or whatever. It's rooted in my love of movies, specifically science fiction and comic book heroes or you know, superhero movies, whatever you want to call it. But like this movie, seeing this when I was like about 6, I would have been, yeah, Christmas 1989, I would have been 6. I think I saw it when I was 6 or 7. I think it was actually 6. But like, it still holds up today. Michael Keaton's fantastic in the role. The Batmobile's amazing. The suit's amazing. Jack Nicholson. It's just, there's so much good about this movie. And of course now it's full of member berries and stuff like this. So it is a triple threat. I love the character Batman. I love the source material, Batman 89, and of course 92 as well, even though this is from 89. And I love this version of the character. I love the suit here. I love Keaton in the suit. Bit disappointing though, like, you know, you've heard all this before. The suit texture, that texture didn't exist in the movie. And yeah, I've seen 4K clips where you can barely make out some sort of texturing and they use different suits, but we know when you watch that movie, this was smooth. Even though there might have been texture on the suit, we're watching this on VHS or whatever, you don't see it. Even if you're watching in 4K, it's definitely not as heavy. Even if you can argue, I know that there was a bit of texture there, it's not like this. It isn't. This looks more like the demon Batman from Batman Begins, when the Scarecrow gets a taste of his own medicine and he's hallucinating that he's been attacked by a big bat demon. So there's that. The cape is awful, but look, HotToys, they just do crap capes. They're rarely, it's rarely they do a good cape. I know the Moon Knight one comes to mind. People raved about that. I thought the DX19 cape was manageable, but I'm glad I got a Jackson Ju custom cape, courtesy of Alan, the 6K Gallery. So for this guy, first thing I did was I bought a Jackson Ju drape cape type E. Completely elevates the look. A lot of people give out about the mouth plates. I think that out of the 3 mouth plates, the kind of strange, I don't know, duck face or whatever thing, never going to be used. Doesn't look like Keaton at all. A lot of people said that the bloodied up look was the best version. I know that smirk they had, and I get what they're saying. I think that one looks a bit goofy too. So this one, for me, it's the one that I went with, the neutral one, and it's the one that I see Keaton the most in. But yeah, it definitely is a downgrade. Now, when you get it futzed right and you get that Jackson cape on, you have this mouth plate, because it's the only part of it exposed, it still looks pretty damn good. I mean, it's the silhouette here, it's the look of the cape, and the cape covers up most of that texture. It's a bit unfortunate. I would prefer if the texture wasn't there, and I would prefer if the mouth plates were better, but I still love it. And I know it's not a perfect figure, far from it. It's not going to be on anyone's figure of the year or top 5, but it's just such a it's the member berries, it's the nostalgia, yeah. And it's slippery slope, but look, I still look, it looks incredible on the shelf. I have it there with the diorama, the gargoyle diorama and all that, although I don't actually has it posed with the gargoyle itself. But this is probably eventually going to stand next to my Jazz Inc. 89. I'm looking forward to that as well. Yeah, so I picked that up. I picked up 2 of these. I actually had, this was pretty much a straight reissue. When they did this before, I had one of these, but I opted to get it without the Death Star light up base. And I always regretted that, because this is so iconic. This very, very simple light up Death Star wall backdrop, whatever you want to call it. This screams Star Wars. So when I saw this, I sold the one I had without the original version, 1.0 of this, without the light up diorama Death Star base. And I actually picked up 2 of these, because even though I mightn't always have them displayed with the Stormtrooper like I have here, I wanted 2 of them, because if you look, you can barely make out Vader. There you go, you can see, there's Vader. So Vader is the middle Blaleeden, the middle out of 7. So there's 3 Star Wars figures to his left, there's 3 to his right. And this guy here, on the other side of Vader, I have got the same light up wall, but I've got Snowspeeder Luke there. He actually looks incredible with Ben Kenobi on it, with the light up Neo LED saber, because of course that's more screen accurate, because that happened in A New Hope. But I know Snowspeeder Luke, it's not screen accurate, but I just wanted to balance it out. I wanted 2 of these, and as well, sometimes I might just pop the Stormtrooper in there as well, so Vader is essentially flanked by 2 Stormtroopers. If you want a trooper, I think this is the one to get. It's original trilogy, it's the original design. As much as Shore Troopers and Death Troopers and Clone Troopers are cool, just you can't beat a regular, straight up and down, regular original trilogy Stormtrooper. Love it. Yeah, so what are we at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I picked up both of these. Now, I'm not entirely sure what version of R2 this is. I picked up the Return of the Jedi 40th anniversary C-3PO, and then I wanted an R2, and I was going to wait until they inevitably reissue or 2.0, 3.0, some sort of original trilogy R2. And I've been looking at I didn't want to get, definitely want to get sequels one, didn't want to get a prequels one. I know that prequels one is amazing and all that, but I did want it branded original trilogy, because I don't collect sequels or prequels. So I worked backwards on this. I paid above retail, but I didn't pay the astronomical eBay prices. But I was seeing on eBay where they were going for €400, and usually from like Hong Kong or China or Taiwan or somewhere like that, and it was like €100 shipping, so that'd be €500. I was like, yeah, I'm not paying that. I'd rather wait. But when I eventually found this guy, bit of rough retail, got it from HotToys, and yeah, just love it. Like, comes with everything in the kitchen sink. It comes with that little light that he was using in Dagobah, because this one is branded Original Trilogy as opposed to being branded A New Hope or Empire Strikes Back or Return of the Jedi. So it's just R2-D2 Deluxe Original Trilogy. So it has everything. It has the Leia, 2 different holograms of Leia, I believe, and that lights up, and then the kind of thing, the little kind of lamp generator thing that he has in Dagobah, and all the different appendages, you know, the things for the computers, the little thing that he tries, the little hand that he tries to take the stick off Yoda from. One of the panels, if you touch it, pops up with the Luke's Return of the Jedi lightsabers there. There's an antenna, and of course he lights up and there's a remote and makes sounds. I haven't actually gone through that, because that's one thing, like when you get a brand new figure that's been sitting in the box for years, if you look at the batteries, they've started to corrode, so I'm not going to put those batteries into this. But like, if I was to get this, I'd probably get, I wonder if there's a way of getting it wired up or something like that, where you could just use the remote and not have to worry about those batteries. So both of these figures, yeah, absolutely incredible. Great pickups. Like, if you look at them, there's nothing there on that list there that was an impulse buy. Like, massive Dark Knight trilogy fan, massive original trilogy Star Wars fan, Deadpool and Wolverine, just Deadpool in general, great, but Deadpool and Wolverine, I just love that movie. It's great. It's not a perfect movie. Like, my head says 4 stars out of 5, excellent movie, but my heart says 5 stars out of 5, which I just loved it. I thought it was great. Yeah, again, definitely something I always love. And Troopers, come on, I remember the 501st. And again, original trilogy. So the next thing then, I've spoke about this already, this is one of 2 figures on this list of these pickups for 2024 that are no longer in the collection for various reasons. This guy here, this is my first Wolverine movie. Sorry, you can probably hear the dog barking down there, apologies. He gets very excited when he sees Wolverine on the screen. So this particular figure, I love Hugh Jackman in the role of Wolverine. I'm not a fan of the original Fox X-Men trilogy, just don't think they're particularly good movies. However, when I watch it for Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. He carries the movie, he makes them watchable. In the same way that, like, I don't particularly like the DCEU, but I thought Cavill was perfect for Superman, and I loved the suit, and I think he did absolutely great. Born to play the role, basically. So I can still watch Batman versus Superman, and he makes it watchable, you know. This figure though, head sculpt was incredible, and the prototype definitely took a downgrade, but there's a lot to like about it. I mean, you've got genuine leather jacket. This head sculpt, you have it in hand, it's not a bad head sculpt. Like is it a perfect head sculpt? Absolutely not. I think the prototype was like a 9 out of 10, and then this took a downgrade to probably about a 7 out of 10. But a 7 out of 10 that's not bad. It's not the standard we're used to of HotToys. The problem is, and I'll be the first to say it, HotToys are only as good as their best sculpt. So like, they will hit these absolute bangers like 9 and 10 out of 10. Like the Boba Roba 2-pack, that sculpt on the robe, you know, the bald, that fella there, the kind of Tuscan look, that bald look, that's one of the best head sculpts I've ever done. The Tom Holland, the red and blue final swing suit from No Way Home, that's incredible. Like, that's up there like a 9 or a 10. The prototype for this was up there. However, it definitely took a hit down to 8 or even 7. I'd say put it, I don't know, probably a 7. I wouldn't go any lower than that. I wouldn't go much higher. Definitely took a hit. People were comparing this to was it Kurt Russell or something like that. I can definitely see Hugh Jackman in this, but it did soften. There's no question about it. But it doesn't mean it's bad. Like, I mean, I think in the collecting community, something's either a 0 or a 10. There's like 9 numbers in between 0 and 10. Like, so yeah. There's a lot to like about it. I mean, you got the bone claws. Okay, the bone claws are a bit touch and go, but look, most people are into Wolverine. They're going to pick up that yellow and blue suit from Deadpool and Wolverine. Hopefully they absolutely knock that head sculpt out of the park. You got the seamless body, you've got the real adamantium claws, and so on. And that's just the suit. But this particular figure though, I mean, there's a lot going for it. You've got the leather jacket. We love leather goods, whether it's this or whether it's the upcoming DX46 Battle Damage T800 2.0 from Terminator 2. You've got 2 different types of shirts. You can have this kind of colored shirt or the black shirt. You've got these, look how good these seamless forearms look. I haven't actually swapped them out because I have mine posed something like this in the collection. The diorama base is incredible. So this figure, a lot of people kind of dumped this, I think, when they saw the announcement of the yellow and blue suit from Deadpool and Wolverine. I get that. I still really, really like this. Plus, it's from Days of Future Past. Because going back to how I started this conversation, no, I'm not the biggest fan. I'm not really a fan of the Fox original X-Men trilogy, because I just don't think they're good movies. But he carries them. He makes them watchable. However, Logan's a masterpiece. Logan is an absolute masterpiece. 5 stars. Days of Future Past, 4-star movie. Love Days of Future Past. Not quite as good as Logan. And then Deadpool and Wolverine, 4-star movie as well, I think as well. I think that's reasonable. That's my own rating system anyway. Let me know what you think. But yeah, this guy's still incredible. Glad I got the Wolverine Hugh Jackman in the collection. I love the 70s look for it. Why do I have 2 of these? Oh no, I didn't. Right, there we go. This guy here, I actually, so if you look behind me, like, these are kind of all in the bottom shelf of the seven bottom shelves of the Bleedens. That's like the original trilogy. Up here then is Mandalorian, and they're in chronological order. So that's like the Durasteel Mando from the first ever episode. And then of course you've got the okay, this is season 2, but it's like the chrome, the Beskar armor. You know, I know this is from season 2 and yada yada, but the chrome armor comes after the Durasteel. Then you have the appearance of Boba Fett, and then you have the appearance of Rosario Dawson's first live action of Ahsoka, and then after that you've got he gets his armor back, you know, the kind of the battle damaged version of Boba Fett. And then after that I have Cad Bane. Cad Bane should actually be after Luke Skywalker from the season 2 of The Mandalorian, but it was just better for the flow, I put them in there. But this guy here, I've got the Durasteel, I've got the Beskar Deluxe, and then I've got the Chrome Mando. Now I had a load of points. No, do you know what it was? I had a load of points built up from Sideshow, and I don't usually buy from Sideshow. I kept entering their signing up for their, you know, there's Halloween Spooktacular, or their different online festivals and stuff that they do, or their online Comic Cons. You get $5 here, $10 here. They sometimes release these games like Sir Sideshow, and you complete them games and you get a bunch more points, and gradually that builds up. And the odd time I do buy from them, then for whatever reason, you get points there, and sometimes it's vouchers. So I built up some points, and they were going to expire, and I had Catwoman on order with them. I can't even know why I went with them, but because I got so delayed, then I cancelled, kept my energy and all that kind of stuff, and I put it towards this. This guy was on offer as well, and I think I had a voucher, whatever. So anyway, so I got the deluxe one. An amazing piece. What I love about it, it's one of those figures, like I always say, I love a figure that you can pose with a bunch of accessories, but not making it look like you're just trying to shoehorn in the accessories there. I mean, if you look at him there, what does he have going on? Like, so he's got the usual stuff you'd expect, like the detonator on his left hip. He's got his gun on his shoulder. He's got his long rifle on his back. Then because he's holding that piece of the swoop bike or speeder bike, that handle, he's got all the bags with the crate dragon meat. I think it's a crate dragon. Yep. Sorry, I don't know what happened there. So he's got like, obviously, you know, Grogu in that satchel. That's a nice accessory too. He's got the reclaimed armor, basically Boba Fett's armor that's heavily battle damaged, and all those packages with the crate dragon meat. I believe it's a crate dragon in it, and his own magnetic backpack. I like those magnetic backpacks. It's an incredible figure. It's great. Inevitably, you're going to get another one from the movie that's going to come out and stuff like that. But yeah, again, in fairness, I've been pretty disciplined. Okay, 14. It's just 14 figures in 12 months. It's just over, and then I suppose you're going to count the Batman here, the INART Batman, which is under the tree. Bit spoiled. That's probably about 3 to 4 figures. I'd rather be getting like 10 figures a year, a bit lower. Just makes it a bit more manageable. I know sometimes people get like 4, 5, 6 figures in a month. I'm just not that type of collector. But if you look at it, I'm happy enough with the discipline here. With that, always coming home, always coming home, always coming home, always coming home. These are like triple threats, as I call it. Again, figures that I love the character, love the source material, and love that particular version of the character, whether it's the suit or the figure itself. Picking up 2 of these, that was a bit of an impulse buy, but again, it's original trilogy and the Stormtroopers, love it. These were always coming home. Working backwards, this R2 is the only one I worked backwards from on this year. I'm glad I'm in 2 minds. It's the only figure I've sold which I'm not sure if I'm making the right decision here. But in terms, I'm glad I showed the discipline to get rid of that, get the money back then to put it into other things, and I only want the one Vader. This one here, yeah, that was always coming home as well. This one here, that was one where I had the luxury to sideshow points, but yeah, look, it looks incredible. I could sell the Beskar Deluxe, but the problem with that is, if I'm correct on this, let me think about this. How there's a reason I didn't want to. I think it was because that hover pram comes with the Beskar Deluxe, and if I sell the Beskar Deluxe, I don't want to sell it incomplete. I want to sell it like with everything, and it's impossible to sell that figure anyway. But if I did sell it, then I'd get rid of the hover pram. That hover pram, even though it came with the Beskar Deluxe, the non-chrome version, that hover pram is specific to when he had that suit in the to do that particular scene there. So I wouldn't be able to do that scene then, because that hover pram is the one from the first episode. Yeah, so I probably won't sell that one. I could, and then I could always pick up the Grogu accessory pack that comes with a hover pram, but then it wouldn't be the one from the episode. And that if you can see that scene I've tried to recreate from the pilot episode of The Mandalorian, I wouldn't be able to do that. So yeah, I probably won't be selling that. What am I after doing here? Okay, look, this is one incredible figure. Always coming home. Love No Way Home. This is a triple threat. Love the character, love the source material, love this particular version. Beautiful combination of that bright, vibrant red and the blue. I don't mind the shine. It's screen accurate. I get some people didn't want that, but like, it was screen accurate, and like, it's kind of a classic look for Spider-Man, minus the shine, of course. The shine doesn't bother me. I quite like it because that's the way it was in the movie, and my collecting is rooted in my love of movies and not comic books or animation or anything like that. The head sculpt on this, I can't get over the head sculpt on this, because HotToys, we know that they're getting better and better at head sculpts, and that's what's frustrating. They'll absolutely knock a head sculpt out of the park like this and do a 9 or 10, and let's face it, they're really good at old wrinkly men, because they has more like scars or pockmarks or wrinkle or kind of just stuff on the face that they can really kind of, details on the face that they can use to kind of improve the likeness or latch onto. But with a young kind of man like this, who's very like fresh face and doesn't have those wrinkles that say someone in their 70s would have, it's probably harder to capture the details. They've nailed this though. It looks exactly like Tom Holland. The sculpted hair is fantastic. Separate rolling eyeballs function. Great expression. It's so good. I love what they've done with the collar here as well. So before, if you remember, a lot of, like, say, the integrated suit, the suit would go all the way up to underneath the jawline, and then there's usually a magnetic head or something like that. And sometimes it looked like a bit of a giraffe neck, and also it's not accurate, because when he takes off the mask will come down here and cover that part. So it's actually, that's what you want. You want the suit to come up as far as here, and then the rest would have been just covered by the mask. So they did great with that. The base was great as well. It comes with a fantastic movie. This is my favorite Spider-Man. I know a lot of people like Toby and a lot of people like Andrew, and I get that, but I love Tom Holland's Spider-Man because I didn't have to see Uncle Ben die again and have that origin story, told for the third time. I liked the way Tony Stark just found him, recruited him, pulled him out of where is he from? He's from Queens, and threw him into Civil War. I really liked that. I liked the suit as well. I get that people are saying, oh, he's just Iron Boy and that's not comic accurate, but yeah, I don't care about the comics really. Like, I mean, I do and I don't. Like, I respect the source material, but it doesn't have to be page per page. Like, they don't have to. The director's job, the filmmaker's job, is not to replicate exactly what's on the comic book. Some things that work in a comic book aren't going to work on live action, and it's up to them to pick and choose what they want, their vision, and using the comic books to influence them. So what's great about this though is, even though people didn't like that, all of the Tom Holland MCU movies now are essentially his origin story, because they flipped the script on us. It wasn't Uncle Ben that got died, or maybe he did die and we didn't see it. It was off screen, it was never explained, and I like that. But I actually prefer to believe that it was, wasn't the big death in his universe wasn't Tom, it was Aunt May. The movie's been out for a few years. I don't really care about spoiling it. So this here, if you think about it, Homecoming, well, Civil War, Homecoming, Far From Home, No Way Home, which is, it's the best live action Spider-Man we've ever had, let's be honest. And then Infinity War and Endgame. Those 6 appearances, or is that 6, 7? Was he in 7 movies? Yeah, because he's his own trilogy. Civil War, No, yeah, his own trilogy, Civil War, Infinity War, Endgame, 6 movies. Those 6 movies, they are his origin story. And now, because no one knows him, now he's making his own suit, this one here. And now, hopefully, it'll be a bit more grounded and he'll be standing on his own 2 feet. So maybe, actually, if it is a bit more grounded in New York City, he can recruit a lot of the people that say don't like his version because of he had Stark Tech and he had stuff given to him. I'd argue he still worked for it, and I argue that he fell the hardest because now not only does he not have his Uncle Ben, he doesn't have any friends. He has no one. So I really hope they lean into that and lean into his struggle and keep him in New York for the next movie. Anyway, fantastic figure. And last but not least, from No Way Home, I'm keeping it simple. I've picked up, obviously, the red and blue suit. I'm going to pick up the upgraded suit. I really like that look for Goblin with the battle damaged look and the torn purple hoodie and the glider and all that. Good William Dafoe head sculpt. This figure on screen is incredible. It is fantastic. The proportions, the tailoring, the layering. There's 2 different coats there and it doesn't look puffy. I like the kind of belt around the center as well. The glasses. He articulates very well. I was so impressed by these tentacles. They're so articulated. It's not just the tentacles themselves. Every single section you see there can move a little bit like a spine, and they hold. I've got this guy posed downstairs in the IKEA Mills boat next to the red and blue Final Swing suit. So, and he's not even using a stand. He's standing on his own 2 feet, and the tentacles are all in different orientations, not unlike what you see here. Elephant in the room is the head sculpt isn't great. Let's be honest. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it's a great head sculpt. You need to leave the glasses on. From here, I can see Alfred Molina. The way I have it posed downstairs with the glasses on, I can see Alfred Molina in there. But yeah, you take the glasses off, not so much. 7 out of 10 head sculpt. So it's kind of like, in a way, the same kind of grade as I put him in the same category. I think maybe this sculpt here, the Hugh Jackman sculpt, is stronger than, say, the Alfred Molina. So if this is a 7, this is 7.5 or an 8 or something like that. But yeah, so in fairness, looking at it now, even though I picked up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and then Toby, that's 14. Of course, Soul 2 got money back, so let's say 12. And then the INART Batman downstairs, 13. That's probably between 3 and 5 figures too much for me. I don't want to be getting that much in. 1 a month, I think that keeps it under control. Because everyone's running out of space, running out of money. But yeah, in fairness, look, I've had a very good year, and I picked up some incredible pieces. There's nothing on this list here, especially now that I've sold the Kenobi Vader and the Toby. Toby's just not a good figure. And I never really had the graw for Toby anyway. I was only doing it for that No Way Home representation with the 3 of them, so that made perfect sense. The Kenobi is such a good figure though. It's just I don't want 2 Vader, but let's say, so there's 13. These figures here, there's a lot of triple threats there. 1, 2, 3, 4. You could argue they're triple threats, but I'm not going to call them triple threats just now. 4. Yeah, but it's hard to call. No, they are. It's C-3PO is never going to be as exciting a character as a Bale Batman or a Return of Jedi Vader or a Bespin Luke or a Han Solo or an Iron Man. It's never going to be as exciting as that. However, it just screams Star Wars, right? So even if you weren't including them as triple threats, yeah. I mean, there's nothing there that I'm looking at going, oh, I'll probably pass that on now in a few months or something like that. So yeah, folks, that is video number 2 in the 12 Days of Christmas playlist 2024. And they were my pickups for 2024. And we'll be back at the same time tomorrow for day number 3, video number 3 on day 3 of Christmas on the 12 Days of Christmas playlist. We'll be back at the same time, 5 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, 12 p.m. East Coast or 9 a.m. West Coast. That's the end of the video. If you want to support the channel, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment. Consider becoming a channel member. You can also follow me on Instagram and on X. That's it. That's the end of the video. See you in the next one. Good luck.